My name's Dr. Kevin Reynolds. I'm a GP here in central Southampton, St Mary's district. I'm interested in the history behind the beginnings of the NHS, and even before that, the old workhouse institution that existed in our area in St Mary's. And part of that comes from this whole principle of caring for a population and not relying on what the population can afford, so free care at the point of delivery. And the other reason why I'm really interested in the workhouse aspect and history here in Southampton is when I started at the surgery, I was meeting elderly folk who had actually been children in the workhouse or had relatives, aunts and uncles, particularly aunts, that had been in the workhouse through reasons such as teenage pregnancy, unmarried, unsupported, or they had TB or a chronic illness which the health service at the time weren't able to fix, or the family had no resources to fund care of that.
For this abounding provision, O Lord, we thank thee.
The workhouse, a place for those caught between poverty and destitution. Before the NHS was established, this was the last hope for those who had nowhere else to turn. And even then, the workhouse wasn't somewhere you would want to end up. The Victorian Poor Law Act in 1834 meant those who could not support themselves were forced into the care of a workhouse. In return for working, they were fed, clothed, and given medical treatment. The workhouse, situated in St Mary's Street, Southampton, was built in 1868, adjacent to the Christian church. The church was one of the few charities in Southampton where the poor, homeless and the destitute could find shelter, food and basic medical help. Although hospitals are commonly unheard of in the Victorian era, in many ways the healthcare available inside the workhouse can be seen as a predecessor to the modern-day hospital. The workhouse had its own infirmary to treat inhabitants who fell ill, free of charge. There were no designated medical or surgical wards, nor was there an operating theatre. Operations were done in a side room and destitute of proper instruments, cupboards and fixtures. 153 St Mary Street was situated to the left of the workhouse. It was built in the 18th century with the intentions to be occupied by the doctors treating the patients from the workhouse. This meant that the patients, especially the urgent cases, could be seen to at any hour of the day. Historians are still debating when exactly the workhouse system came to an end. Some have stated to 1948 with the introduction of the National Health Service, when many former workhouse buildings were turned into public hospitals.
Well, it's a huge employer now, but it's the provider of all health services to the whole population based on need rather than means to pay. So it's great for a city like Southampton, which is international and there's a large number of people who are surviving on benefits.
So the workhouse idea in its latter days, I think, became a bit of a dumping ground. We don't have that ethos now, so everyone is worth saving, in my view. Everyone deserves the best treatment that we can do, the best treatment we can afford as a country, and no one should be thrown away.